I'm David Facer, Senior Product Manager here at InContact. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Plugin Agent. The Plugin Agent is our new agent interface software product. And we designed the Plugin Agent as a key piece of our integration strategy for the agent interface. What we did with the Plugin Agent was we moved the agent interface into the applications on the desktop where you do all of your work. Let me talk to you a little bit about the design principles that we used. The Plugin Agent is a browser plugin, and so we moved all of your agent controls to a toolbar in the top of your browser. The idea here is to stay out of the way, to stay out of the places where you do your work. For other things, like more complicated things like a transfer or to find your directory or to reskill a call, we open up a sidebar, and then when you're done with that operation, it cleans up after itself. Okay, so let's start with a quick tour. So here I am on my browser, and I'm at one of my favorite websites, InContact.com. You'll notice this toolbar up here and the InContact button. If I click on it, I'm allowed to log in. You can see a place to put in my station ID or my 10-digit phone number if my call center is configured for that, my username, and my password. So there we log in. The agent is logged in. You'll notice here in the bottom that I have a little toast message pop up that lets me know that the agent is logged in. Those will come in handy later if I've got some other application, maybe a desktop application or my Outlook or something covering up my agent application, and a call comes in, I would get a little toast pop up like that as well. From here, you can see that I have a module to control my agent state. It shows me by color and by name what my state is. Right now I'm unavailable, and there to the right it shows me how long I've been in that state. If I click here on the drop down, I can choose a different state, for example available. Then the color changes and it restarts the counter for how long I've been in that state. The sidebar is controlled by this button right here to the left of the agent state control. The sidebar opens up and closes back down from that same button. Let me give you a quick tour of the sidebar. Here's where you would handle multiple calls if you had multiple calls. It's also where you would find things like your address book, your agent directory, and your skills directory. So if you wanted to look and see what other agents were logged in, you could see them there and you would be able to transfer calls to them. You would also be able to see what other skills you can transfer your call to, as well as an address book that may be configured for your call center. There's also a dial pad there in case you are in a situation where your phone doesn't have keys that will create DTMF tones and you need to navigate a third-party IVR system. One of the greatest things about the Plugin Agent is that it runs in multiple tabs and multiple windows. What we found as we visit the call centers is that agents are increasingly required to work with multiple applications, and most of those applications are running in the browser these days. And so what I see when I go into the call center is an agent with 2 or 3 browser windows open. Maybe they're using tabs to manage those, or maybe they have actual separate browser windows, and we're starting to see a lot of call centers with 2 monitors now to help the agents manage those. So let me show you. If I just go down here and click on Internet Explorer, it will open up a new window. This time it goes to Google, which is my home page. And you will see that my agent state is replicated across the browsers. So from the page here where I have Google, I could open up another tab. I could set my availability in this page, say I'm going to lunch, and that state would be represented in all of the agent states across the tabs and across the browsers. What that means is I could take the call and start my process flow in one browser application, perhaps put them on hold, or look up perhaps room availability in another browser application, and I still have my call control if I need to put the call on hold or transfer from that application as well. This is a user scenario that I saw in a call center that I visited in the last few months. Okay, so one last thing that I want to show you before we take a call is there to the right of the agent state. Let me set myself unavailable here for a moment. Is an indicator of the agent leg status. And so what that does is tell me what the state of my agent leg is. You can see right here that the agent leg is disconnected. And I could choose to manually pin up my agent leg by pressing that button. When it's trying to pin me up, it's red, and once we're connected, it's green. And so let's queue up a call, and I'll pin up my agent leg. There you see it's dialing. There we are. And now you see that the agent leg is pinned up. Now if I go available, you'll see an incoming call. And here's my incoming call. You notice my toast message that tells me that I've got an incoming call, what the skill is, and what the number is that dialed it in on. Now, let's take a moment and I'll give you a quick tour of our call controls as we have them right now. So here you see the state of the call is active. It shows me, the agent, on an inbound call, and then these circles here show my next state. My next state is after call disposition, and the state after that is available. Over here on the active call control, I show the ANI, meaning the number that dialed in. It's like caller ID. And if I click that, it will click to the DNIS, which is the dialed number that the caller dialed. Then to the right of that, I have a button to put them on hold, to hang up, to record the call, or to transfer the call. So let's do something fun with this call. Let's transfer it. Remember, the design principle was stay out of the way. If you need more space, take it. And then when you're done, give that space back. So let's see what happens if we try to transfer this call. We'll transfer the call to my cell phone. So I'm going to click the initiate transfer button here. And that's going to do a few things. It's going to put the call on hold. And it's also going to open up the sidebar to give me the extra call controls that I'll need for transferring that call. And so in this case, I'm going to go to my address book, and I'm going to find myself, David Facer, and I should have a cell phone number there. Yep, there it is. And so I'm going to click that, and it's going to populate the dial field here. So from here, I'm going to dial. You can see that we were now on an outbound call. My cell phone will start dialing here in a moment. There's my cell phone. It's a little quiet. And now you see I've got an active call between the agent and my cell phone. Now I can conference the call so that all three of us are on the same call. And now we're conferenced. And from here I can hang up on the conference, or I can transfer so that the two conference parties are talking to each other, and as an agent I'm back to my next state. That's what we'll do in this case. And so I'll transfer the call. And you see that the sidebar cleans itself back up out of the way, and the agent state is set back to their next state. So I'll put myself back available, and I'll show you what an outbound call looks like. For an outbound call, I would do the same kind of thing. I would get to my interface where I can dial a call. So I'll open up the sidebar. And in this case, we'll dial a caller here that just called in, 801-671-8858. And I dial that. And you can see my state changed to outbound. My call state went to dialing. And we should have a ringing phone here in a moment. And there's our caller. So if we answer that, you'll see that my call control comes together. Now, if I would like to get my sidebar out of the way, I can choose to do that. Or what I'd like you to see is that after we're done talking and the call is over, I can end the call here. And the sidebar will clean itself back up out of the way. When it comes to agent interface integrations, we're always trying to accomplish three things. The first thing we're trying to accomplish is move the interface to the workspace of the agent. The second thing that we're trying to do is to start the interaction the right way. Maybe this is a screen pop, maybe this is a click to dial, or a search against a number so that we start with the contact record or possibly the case record, but we're trying to start the interaction the right way. And the last thing that we're trying to do with an agent integration is create an artifact of that call in the CRM. So that could be a call activity, it could be a task, it could be a case, it depends on the CRM. Generally speaking, it's a call activity or a call task in the CRM. So What we've shown you today is that we were able to move the agent interface to the browser, that we were able to stay out of your way, that when we needed the extra space, we took it and then got back out of the way, and that we could propagate that interface across multiple instances of the browser and of the tabs. You may be asking yourself, okay, Dave, that's great, but what does that really do in terms of my integration? That's a great question, and I'm glad you're thinking it. And in the next part, we will show you exactly how, with the plugin interface, we're able to step-by-step integrate with the CRM. In the example that I'll show you, it will be Microsoft Dynamics CRM.